Hello everyone, it's Friday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Obiajilu Olabisi Ubu, and with me are the lovely, delectable, amazing, intelligent ladies. Where can I shake now? Shake. How you doing, Miriam?
I'm doing well.
What's
First
up?
of all, I'd like to give a shout out to Iphag Designs Fashion. She's dressed me up today. They're in Abuja. My sister Hakima, thank you so much. I hope you love the way it looks
so
on
beautiful.
me. Thank you, but I need to give you gist. So I did not sleep last night.
What happened?
About 3 o'clock, my daughter comes rushing, screaming into my room that she had a tummy ache. And so we were up all night. You know, and she has tennis today. She was like, you know, she was crying. She was like, Mommy, please. No, before she even asked me, she started. I just heard her, after we're, trying to calm her down, I got some medication for her. She was like, I'm not feeling any better. Then I just heard my daughter, she broke in worship song. I just heard, hey, boo, babe.
What's going on?
I said, Mommy, I need you to pray for me because I need to play tennis tomorrow. I said, okay, so we
that's
pray.
so heartwarming.
And this morning she was up like,
And
God
about-
answered your prayer. She said,
course.
yes, God, thank you so much.
That's so sweet. Honestly,
If you
have to believe in something
like that, you start imagining that God, I won't do it again. If it's what I ate, I won't eat it again. I don't know what can happen.
I'm happy she's better. She can play her game.
Play her tennis.
How you doing, Dami?
I'm doing very well. I'm fine, and I think that I have an affiliation with Mariam.
Yes.
I think last week that we went to the retreat, I couldn't attend because I didn't have a house assistant. So luckily, I got one, and she's from Shangdan local government in Jos.
Wow.
And Plateau State. And so Mariam was just telling me that she's also from Plateau State. And it's like, oh, we have connection. My family member is in my house. Don't worry, I'm going to take care of her. I'm going to take care of her. And so yesterday I was home all day because I needed to study her. She's just been in my house like a week. I needed to know characteristics, mannerisms. And so we're talking, and I was speaking the little Hausa I knew. And she was surprised. I said, whether do you know that I'm in Nigeria? So it was very beautiful for me because I spent the day in the house with them, trying to at least oversee, if I'm not at home, how will she cope, knowing that she's just with me for a week. So it was a very beautiful time yesterday for me. So we had that fun.
Well done. How you doing, Amaka?
I'm fine, thank you. It's Friday. I've had a dampened week, but then you can see my mood is up.
Yes,
by
burst of
dressing, burst of colors.
Yes, so.
And it's amazing because I've had my brother with me all week. It's amazing when someone visits. I'm not alone. When I come back home, at least I can gist with somebody. And so it's really nice. Although I like my space, but I love my brother being around. So.
I particularly love your outfit today. I
Yeah.
so much. The jacket over the shoulders, that's so my thing.
Sunshine.
We're almost going to look alike because I wanted to tie a yellow
That's
scarf
what she
around my
said,
head.
yes.
So I dashed to the car and I didn't find it also because that's why I was wearing a yellow shoe. Or I am wearing a yellow shoe. I wanted
match
be
with the scarf.
Then when I saw her yellow, I said, oh God, this mind is saying something. So I left it for her, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
darling.
So I got a new help. We're still in the phase of,
finally.
yes. And the agent has been calling me because I usually get two. Yeah. But I say, wait, I want this person to be grounded first before I introduce another person. Yeah. So that at least they know why they are there. When they come like that, they quickly bond and then they are misbehaving. And that's what happened the last time. So I'm taking my time on that. And then yesterday, another director called me and gave me a script for a job. So I'm working to acting jobs this May.
good.
And I hope it keeps increasing. Like I need to go to set back to back. And I'm happy that they are seeing me. And what can we do now? We have to make this money. All right, ladies, let's take a short break. When we come back, we do the newspaper reviews. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We'll be starting the newspaper reviews with The Nation. Major headline: NLC justifies 615,000 naira demand. I hope somebody has the story. Rivers House reaffirms legitimacy as Fubara backs 3 loyal lawmakers. Sirika orders get 100 million bail. Chibok girl back with 3 kids after 10 years. Senate House differ on cyber levy. There's a very big advertisement here. That's what took most of the stories out. High Chief Dr. Government Owezide Ekpemupolo, alias Tom Polo, was wishing a royal birthday wish to our Awujale. Okay, and congratulations, Your Majesty. And that's what we have here. What stories do we have in the
I
nation?
have the story of another Chibok girl who has been rescued and has been returned to her family. Her name, Lydia Simon, one of the schoolgirls, as we know. That story forever live with us. 2014, one of the abducted girls from government secondary school in Chibok. So she was returned yesterday with three children. They said that the young mother was handed over to the Borno State government by the military to be reunited with her family, and is also believed to be 6 months pregnant. So the report here just talks about the issue of, the Chibok girls and what happened, and it's been 10 years since that happened. And they also explained that, the military consistently till today, they're doing everything that they can to make sure that they're rescuing each and every one of the girls. As we know, a couple of them have been rescued. There's Esther Marcus, if you remember, she was 103 on the serial number, so 103, and she was rescued by the troops. And also they said recently another, was rescued. So the military is saying that we'll continue to do our best, we'll continue to work hard to make sure that we can rescue all these girls and reunite them with their families. But they are really...
Yeah, but with them having kids and their attachment,
yes.
I wonder if they have attachment to the father of the kids, and what happens to the children.
They're likely trauma bonded at this stage.
Very complex situation.
Hi.
Very complex.
People will learn to move on regardless. I think I have from the nation, the one that caught my attention was for the royal birthday wish. And from High Chief Dr. Government Owedieze Ekpemukolo, aka Tompolo, wishing Awujale, the Ogbagba II Awujale is the paramount ruler of the Ijebu land, Obasikiru Kayode Adetono, on his 90th birthday and his 64th coronation anniversary. And for me, because he said in his words, he said, Kabiyesi has earned his stripes as a forward-looking and venerable royal father, not just in the Yoruba land, but across the globe. Kabiyesi has fought for and invested heavily in the democracy and good governance in Nigeria. It was on this premise that you endowed the chair in the above discipline as the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agowo, Ogun State of Nigeria. You built a school of postgraduate and research studies in governance. I mean, it's a whole lot of message, but I'm more delighted because Tompolo is from the Rivers State of Nigeria, and wishing our paramount ruler here in the Yoruba race a happy birthday. So it feels that there's the kind of integration and there's the kind of bond. Like I always say to people, Nigerians are not bad people after all.
Yeah.
The circumstances and situations make us seem like enemy to each other. So why can't the Lagos State governor wish the Sultan of Sokoto a happy birthday and vice versa? So
at that level, they are united. Now we here.
You understand? So we see the unity
the foot
above.
soldiers.
They are marrying, their children are marrying each other.
Yes.
So
they are helping each other
There's a lot of
invest.
unity up there than what we think.
Yeah.
So if we can trickle it down to also understand that, see, your life is not worth taking for anybody. They are bonded in ways that you do not imagine.
Yeah, true.
I have the cyber security levy. The Senate and the House of Representatives yesterday disagreed on the implementation of the cyber security levy announced by the Central Bank of Nigeria. While the Senate argued that the levy was not punitive, the House called on the CBN to halt its implementation because of the apprehension created by the announcement. Also, the Nigerian Economic Summit Group criticized the levy, saying it should be paid by high net worth companies and individuals. The levy has been said, the act has been said to take off in 10 days. And on Wednesday, the presidency explained that it was being proposed to tackle cybercrimes and terrorism because Nigeria lost over 227 billion to cybercrimes alone last year. And so they have told the bank, the Apex banks, that monthly deductions must be remitted to the National Cybersecurity Fund account by the 5th business day of every subsequent month. But then they're also saying that the citizens should not be worried or be apprehensive because the Act has created exemptions that would protect and relieve ordinary citizens. And some of the exemptions include salary payments, intra-account transfers, loan disbursements, and repayments, and other financial transactions. If you're transferring from your own account to another account, whether in the same bank or another bank, it's you're exempted, from that. But then their decision followed that. The CBN is saying they're telling the CBN to immediately withdraw the circular and issue another one in line with the provisions of the Act because they feel that the one that was issued was misleading and that was causing apprehension to people.
So I have the major headline. It's quite interesting. Organized labor has justified its proposed 615,000 naira minimum wage. They said the request is based on a conservative analysis of what an average Nigerian family needs to survive. He was the one that's the NLC chairman. President Joe Ajaero was the one that stated this in the headquarters yesterday in Lagos. And so that we don't talk too much, I want to just go straight to how they had broken it down. So he said, first of all, Labour was not opposed to negotiated wage for workers. It's just because of the prevailing economic realities that's what informed the decision to put forward for negotiation the 615,000 naira. And they broke it down to say that they presented it, but if they are asked to, first of all, go back to represent today, based off of the inflation and all the other things that we're now paying additional, they will definitely increase the price. So they said, they calculated, I want to get the calculations, I saw it not long. They said, okay, feeding based on 500 naira per person, which is, for instance, a meal of a family of 6. And if a person spends 500 naira a day, that's like 1,000 per person, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know how that goes. That would take the 6 tables in a month to 270,000 naira for feeding alone. The 50,000 is for education and medicals, which they did not even add whether you're going to be having surgery or not. Just hoping everything works fine for you. Then for your utilities like electricity bill, he said they had pegged 20,000 before the tariff was even increased. That's what they had pegged. Then he said some families buy gas at least twice a month. That's between 30,000 to 35,000 naira. And at the end of the day, by the time you calculate everything, you see that you'll be getting 615,000 naira, yes, based on these normal expenses. Now, if you have extended family, they did not add that one. Maybe you're the one taking care of your grandma, grandpa, and other extended things. They've not added this new tariff you talked about for the, what's it called?
For
the cyber security, and they've not added all of that. If they have to recalculate this, that amount is definitely going to increase. And so,
Family of 6, they
family
say.
of 6. Wow. We have to move on. Let's take the Punch. Major headline, reps to summon Edu Umahi AGF. Works Ministry Defense Project. House panel gets 4 weeks to complete probe. Government under pressure to stop cybersecurity levy. 2.7 billion fraud. Court imposes travel ban on Sirika and daughter. Abduction. Citizens slam IGP for detaining journalists beyond 48 hours. Rivers crisis. Fubara lawmaker lock horns again. Much sorrow as U-17 hero Babangida is buried. Businessman in Lagos, police bika over 70,000 naira extortion allegation. Senate okays death penalty for drug traffickers. Q1 foreign debt servicing gulped $1 billion. This is according to the CBN. One story before we go on a short break.
I think I have the 2.7 billion naira fraud. Court imposes travel ban on Sirika and his daughter. And this one says that the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, High Court in Abuja on Thursday barred the immediate past Minister of Aviation, Hidi Sirika, his daughter Fatima, and his son-in-law Jalal Haman from traveling outside the country. Justice Silvanus Orji ruled that they must not leave Nigeria for any reason pending the conclusion of their 2.7 billion naira fraud. And the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on Thursday on 6 counts charges bordering on 2.7 billion naira fraud. They were arraigned alongside Al Burak Investment Limited. The commission said in doing that the ex-minister acted contrary to the Section 19 of the Corrupt Practices of Other Related Offences Act 2000. And in other count charges, the anti-graft also alleged that about August 18, 2022, in Abuja, Sirika did use his office to confer unfair advantage upon Al Burak Global Investment Limited, whose alter ego, Fatima Hidi Sirika and Jalal Sule Hamam, are your daughter and son-in-law respectfully. And this is also telling us that he used his position to influence the award of the contract given to his daughter and his son-in-law. Wow. And because of this, in 3 count charges, the EFCC accused Sirika of criminal breach of trust while being the Minister of Aviation and in his capacity as a public officer on or about the 18th of August 2022 in Abuja within this jurisdiction.
We'll take a breather here. When we come back, the newspaper reviews continue. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the Punch.
Yes, I've got this crisis happening in Rivers State. So the Rivers State lawmakers loyal to Nyesom Wike, that's the FCT minister, and those loyal to the governor, Fubara, they said they exchanged words over the plan made by the governor to renovate the state legislative quarters. They said the governor went to the state legislative quarters and said, I think we need to pull this down and renovate it. So those lawmakers loyal to Wike is like, you have started. You remember that is how you pull down the House of Assembly because, you know, of the issues that were happening. And now you want to use the same mindset. They don't believe you have to do anything
Renovations,
pull down the legislative quarters. He says, look at the legislative quarters. There's nothing wrong with it. We're staying here. It's fine. The governor said, is there anything wrong for me to want to do what is right for my people? What I think is best for my people? But we remember the politics that happened at the time.
Yes.
When that the assembly blew up, you know, the lawmakers had tried to rush in to impeach the governor at the time. And then he, by himself, supervised the bringing down of that building.
Complex. And I heard the complex wasn't so bad.
No, it wasn't bad.
Yes.
Well, according to them, we don't know. Now with the legislative quarters, it's like, I just want to do what is best for my people. Why are you complaining?
So there's roads to be fixed.
So there are things. He wants to add it to the list of the roads and everything.
Start with the ones that are dilapidated.
Anyway, that's the governor. He does what's best for his people. So they are going back and forth. I think if it's really just about politics, we should please hold off on that. And going further in the Constitution, we should be able to make sure that there should be a procedure before you pull down buildings.
There are usually procedures, but what I know is that the person who the honors rest on has the power to say, I want to do the final say. And I saw somebody commenting yesterday on this same issue that he wants to follow the way of his previous predecessor, Rotimi Amechi, and it was just too much.
As well.
So I have the drug trafficking and death sentence story. The Senate on Thursday approved the death penalty for dealers and importers of cocaine, heroin, and other hard drugs into the country. We know what's going on with our youths now. The drugs are just everywhere. The proposed capital punishment also applies to manufacturing, trafficking, dealing in, or delivery of hard drugs by any means. Yes. The penalty for drugs importation or dealership is captured in Section 11 of the extant law, which Ndume sought to be increased to death sentence. He also said that it should be toughened beyond life imprisonment. It should be death sentence, although this proposal did not sit well with some of his colleagues, especially former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshimole, who took the floor to voice out his reservations. But he said that that this is a matter of life and death, and in such situations, that they should be accountable. His position was, however, overruled by the Deputy Senate President, Jibrin, who told him that he should have called for a division of the Senate immediately after the voting took place and before the Senate moved to another clause in the amendment bill. So let's see how that goes.
All right, a quick story before we run off. A Nigerian businessman, Abbas Alade, alleged that Nigerian police officers extorted 70,000 naira from him May 4th, 2024, on Echo Bridge, Ijora, Olokpa area of Lagos, after he refused to offer bribes to them. So according to the story and his own account, he said that he noticed that there was traffic along that area, but he was just waiting and they were going gradually. But then he saw police officers who were stopping the vehicles and collecting bribe, so he refused to give them money. They now accused him that he had taken BART lane. So he said, I've not taken BART lane now. Show me where you think, okay, where's your evidence? You people have your phones. You normally do videos. Where's your evidence? They had no evidence. They said we're going to take him to the police station. At the end of the day, he was able to record and then sent the recording to his brother. At the end of the day, they took him there. He had to pay 70,000 naira.
In the police station?
In the police station.
Wow.
Only for him to realize that they had not accused him of BRT lane. They had accused him of not using his seatbelt or something. And he's calling them out. Well, the police said he actually took the BRT lane, and that was why they had collected money from him. Let's move on quickly now to the Daily Sun. Convicted drug barons to get death sentence, major headline, as Senate approves capital punishments. That's what Amaka just took. We'll review upward 615,000 naira minimum wage if inflation bites harder. NLC President Ajero says hardship in Nigeria worsening. I taken that story earlier. Reps probe Lagos Calabar Highway contract. Foreign Affairs Ministry move to recover 28 trillion lost revenue. Cybersecurity levy splits National Assembly. Senate House take divergent positions. Rivers crisis. Wabara urges Tinubu to call Wike to order. Lawmakers summon NDPHC MD over abandoned 252 megawatt power plant in Bayelsa. Prince Harry wife arrived Nigeria today, for real, to visit wounded soldiers and others. 4.135 billion fraud. Ex-aviation minister Sirika, daughter, son-in-law, Dr. Rain gets 400 million bail. Headsmen kill Agro Rangers commander in Benue. What stories do we have in the Sun? Who's taking Sun?
Okay, so I'm taking Son, yes. Prince Harry, the defense headquarters was all set for the arrival of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan, to Nigeria for a 3-day private visit. The visit, which is on the invitation of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, to Harry, will enable him to visit the wounded soldiers. They said that the wounded soldiers are excited about this visit. They said that they already have a positive outlook to life. Because why wouldn't you? You're being visited by your prince and princess.
Royalty.
Yeah, royalty. The chairman organizing committee of the visit, director of sports, Air Vice Marshal Abidemi, said that Harry, who founded the Invictus Game, would visit the Army Reference Hospital, Kaduna, on Saturday. And then and we also visit the wounded soldiers and some of their families in Abuja. We also witnessed a novelty football match during the visit. And then they also said that that Nigeria is now part of the country that is going to also host the Invictus Game. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to host the Invictus Game. And that on Saturday, that there will be an exhibition of novelty match where the CDS team and the Duke team will be having a volleyball match at the Armed Forces Officers' Mess.
Oh, I love that.
Interesting.
And we know that Megan just recently found out that she's 43% Nigerian.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I'm sure there are other things that will happen that they've not told us
But
yet.
I would just like to say, whatever that is given to the wounded soldiers should please be given to them, because we have this attitude of when they give things to people and some people don't know about
We hoard it.
siphon it, we hoard it. Let's not do that.
Yeah, we're better now.
Because they said that they will also be part of an NGO.
It's the Invictus Games we're looking forward to.
Yeah, Vanguard. Major headline, project not okayed by National Assembly. That's the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway. Not okayed by National Assembly, procurement for probe. Senate okays death penalty for manufacturers of dangerous drugs. Cash transfer scheme raised household savings but had little other impact. Deporting 317 Osun indigenes from Lagos illegal, according to Falano. Senate reps disagree on implementation of cybersecurity levy. IMF cautioned federal government against CBN Act amendments. Federal government telecoms operators disagree on tariff hike. Who has that? And 2.7 billion naira fraud. Ex-aviation minister Sirika, daughter, docked, gets 100 million naira bail. What stories do we have in the Vanguard?
Okay. The one that interested me was the deporting 317 Osun indigenes from Lagos is illegal, Falano says. The Lagos chairman of the Alliance on Surviving COVID-19 and Beyond, ASCAB, ASCAB for short, Mr. Femi Falano-san, yesterday described the deportation of 317 Osun indigenes as illegal and a violation of human rights, insisting that the deportees should be returned to Lagos. Last weekend, 317 indigenes of Osun State origin were rounded up in several parts of Lagos and loaded into several luxury buses, which drove them to Osun State. They were later dropped off at various points, including Ilesha Akure Express Junction, Buris, Ilesha, Ibodi, Iginla to Ife Express Junction, Osun Ankara Express Junction, Imelu Express Junction, and Ikinredo Express Junction. And the statement reads that in distancing itself from the illegal deportation of the 317 citizens, the Lagos State Police Command stated that in keeping with its mandate of prevention and detection of crime, it conducts raid of black spots from time to time and promptly arraigns only culpable suspects in court of competent jurisdiction in the state after a thorough screening and prohibition and people's raided. However, Falana is also saying that it is illegal to deport people from, that the government claimed that 450 miscreants were at the weekend rescued, of which 317 pleaded for assistance to relocate to their various states due to the hardship they are facing here in Lagos.
Oh, wow.
79 have been absorbed into some government facilities for rehabilitation after showing signs of being unwell. The victims of the illegal deportations have contradicted the account of the Lagos state government. According to them, they were abducted and forcefully loaded into several luxury buses and
Abducted
expelled
from
Lagos state without their consent.
Oh, wow.
It's a laughable
That's quite
story.
interesting, yeah.
They said they abducted them. The Lagos state government said they conducted.
But what were
search
they doing
from
here in the
black
first
spots.
place?
But
Yeah.
I think that
but
during
legally they said it's
Fashola's
not.
era, during Fashola's tenure, we also had something like this, but they were more of mentally challenged people. I remember that they dropped people off in Ogbomoso, they dropped people off in Osun State, and so if the police says it's part of their own jurisdiction to read off, I think it's not a bad one.
Thank you, ladies. That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews. When we come back, we move on to our hot topic. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. A video caught our attention where a very voluptuous lady was seen dancing. It was captioned, "A lady built like this might never find true love." Do you agree or disagree? Being shapy or extremely seductive as a lady puts one in a disadvantaged position to find true love, does it? What are your thoughts on this? You can join the conversation on 081-076-41679 or 090-2416-3440. Tweet to us at TVC Connect using the hashtag YourViewTVC. So I saw that video and I was full of admiration. There was nothing but admiration in my head. I'm like, this.
Did you see the video?
It's given.
Oh my God. She was giving. And she was not only giving, she showed she was giving.
She showed up and showed out.
And showed out, my sister. I've seen people who have such voluptuous curves and body figure who sort of cover it up a bit. So you see them wear this pantsuits and everything. You may not be able to tell except you come up close. I used to have an auntie who was that shaped. And she was always on this buba and rapper. Buba and rapper. One particular day, we went for an event together in Delta State, and then she was changing when I saw her. Auntie Veru. My father's eldest sister. And I screamed. I said, "Where did this come from?" She said, "Hey, what? I'm like, but there are some people who are aware of what they have and they don't mind flaunting it. And now somebody is saying that because you have this type of shape, you may not find true love. You may only find or attract people who just want to use you,
objectify,
run away. What do you think about that statement?
I think let me go first because I have personal experiences like myself being the endowed person in front. And when I was growing up, when I was much younger, I remember that one of the things that spurred me into buying a car quick was because I was walking on Oshodi Bridge one day, and those miscreants on the bridge, the way they were making those derogatory statements about milk, and you look at how it is, it's so voluminous. And I was so shy because as at then, this was like 15 years back, I was so shy because we've not really started preaching about body positivity and embracing yourself and understanding that, I didn't create myself. So one of the things that made me quickly gather money, I was doing thrift to just have my first car. Like, I can't deal with this. So it happens to men a lot. Like I say, men are visually wired with they are visually wired. They like what they see.
Their brain in their eyes.
Their brain is in their eyes, is what you see. And some people, so sometimes I tell people that if I have to wear a turtleneck, you know that I am endowed in front. Even if I wear cardigan or let me wear sutana, it will show. You will know. But it's now for you to be able to compose yourself. A few days back, I had the same issue with a man that saw my younger sister. I think if you go to my page, her picture is there. And this man was literally shivering. As in, we saw it in his face, and I'm like, it couldn't be. He came to the lobby of the apartments, And he was asking me, where is she? I said, where is who? He said, your sister. I said, oh, you know her? He said, no, but I like what I see. He went down to the basement to the car park. He came back again and asked me, said, the security said nobody drove us. I said, what are you looking for? And I asked Ogabia, this was around past 12. I said, Ogabia, are you not married? He said, I'm married. I'm married in America. I'm a British citizen. I said, oh, so you can tell me with your mouth that you are married with children.
And you don't care.
And you don't care. And in my head, it's like somebody's father. This is somebody's love of my life that wants to die for another person's behind. So what men actually put themselves through, do they need it? On the other hand, objectifying women, no, I don't think that because you have such banging body. Though some people, I would say, some people just brought the body to enhance the trade. They have a trade that they have specialized in, but they have gone to enhance the body so that the trade are made.
So that the market will sell.
And I've seen a lot, because I know my sister and her friends, the group of friends, they're always talking about body goals, how somebody who has a bigger body or a better curve attracts more men than some people who don't. So I'm trying to learn between these new Gen Z's love for making up their bodies and men. Some men still like we women, we did you, but it's just that they will not talk. They will not tell us. They will
Are you
not
sure
give us
they
that
still like?
admiration. Yes, some men do. I checked, there was one conversation of a lady who didn't wear makeup on her wedding day, and I checked the comment section, and a lot of men there were like, God forbid, it won't be me. On my day, on her big day, how won't she make up? So I'm saying, yes, men. In fact, I could say that 65% of the men in that comment section did not agree with the bride.
Whoa.
That why is she not wearing makeup? It's her big day. Why is she looking like somebody that's mourning? What's happening? I would send her back. And okay, now, so this is why some women tend to tilt towards what the men sometimes like. But for me, men and their eyes,
So what you've said for me sort of confirms, the topic that we're talking about, where they're saying that a woman with that sort of body will find it harder to find true love because her body would attract many. Will attract many people.
You don't want to imagine. You don't want to imagine.
So for people like that, I agree. So it's not just about voluptuousness, also all sorts of beauty standards, wherever in the world that you live. There are some specific beauty types that I feel that they get a lot of attention. So now it depends on the person now to even be more careful in their choices for romance and who it is that they end up being, because they know that they will attract everyone. Dick, Harry,
I've heard it
John,
before.
everybody comes, So you have to decide, knowing that this will now be your cross. Meanwhile, for those who don't attract so many eyes, it's easier because you're able to select and pick the ones. In fact, you know that it's not just about your looks that these people are coming. There must be something more.
Else.
So that your own cross may not be that you attract the whole world, but you're able to pick who your partners are. But I feel this body positivity, because it's also similar to a topic we had discussed a few days on the show, where someone was saying that men will not like big girls or they don't like fat girls. And I was trying to say, make the difference between body positivity and just living unhealthy. And for me, this is it. Your body type and living in confidence with your body type and owning your body type, that is body positivity. And I feel that a woman who knows that also would, knowing and understanding that, would also want to, she has built enough confidence to be able to choose the right person for her.
Yeah, but do you agree that because of your body type, you may not find true love?
That's what I just said. That's what I said in the beginning. I said, from the story she gave us, that you will be bamboozled. There'll be so many of them, so you will be confused. So what you need to work, as you've worked on your confidence, on owning your body and living confidently, also there's another work for you to do, which is pay attention to the sort of person you want in your life, because you're attracting all sorts.
With what you said, sorry, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, she hasn't given her
so
initial thoughts.
for me, if you have it, please, 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 flaunt it, flaunt it very well. Me, I'm a late bloomer. I was a late bloomer. I don't know whether I think I'm still blooming. For the longest time, I did not have bum. I did not have the front one. It took me a while to get there. I'll be saying, hey, Chimo, who do me like this? So if you have it, please flaunt it. Who creates beauty standards? Anyways, beauty standards should be what you decide it to be for you. Your sense, you spoke about the wedding most of the men saying that, no, she's not, if you want to do makeup on your wedding day, if you don't want to do, beauty should be what you define it to be and what you define it to mean to you.
That, yeah.
When it comes to true love, it has nothing to do with body, it has nothing to do with whether you can speak English, it has nothing to do with whether you're tall, whether you're short. Person will like you, go like you, regardless. You understand? Men have specs. There's some men that don't even have any specs.
Yes.
They go for they go for anything. While there are certain men that they are attracted to slim girls, and they would always, no matter what is in the room or what passes, they will always go for that one. While there are men that they like them big. I've always said something on this show, and I always say it: follow your type. If you like this, own it. Follow that one. If you don't like something, so that tomorrow you'll not be running kiri. You will still run if you want to run. Shall I see that video of that lady? Me, I like that dress, that outfit. Please, do they have it in my size? I want.
So let me put it in context. I don't know if it's just Nigeria that we're this type of way, because I've gone to some African countries, and trust me, most of their ladies are that way, naturally. And I don't see their men falling over when they pass, because you have a mother in the house that's shaped that way. You have sisters shaped that way. The madam selling bolly on the street is shaped that way. In fact, when I went to Botswana, it was bad. Their men were shaped that way.
Okay.
Like, I was confused. From the back, you can't tell if he's a guy. I'm not joking. I am not. If you have gone to Botswana, please, you will notice it. You can't tell who is, and they were not so tall. You know, they had no front, but you see that back, it was like this.
The biggest behind.
I'll be walking in the mall. I am turning. I'm a woman, though. I'm looking at from one person. After a while, I got tired, because everybody, even the caterers, the waiters serving you in the hotel, everybody has that same shape. Structure. And nobody's falling over themselves. And they could single me out that I was not from their country when I got there. Because then I was tall and I was shaped different, right? So is it a Nigerian thing that we now go after this with everything to the extent that we are losing ourselves? Or is it something that has been going on from time immemorial? Because I know that even back in the day, there's this way they relate to women who had down below. If you see the way they make the dolls, the figures for our doll babies and everything, there's always this curve. Always that curve is there. A woman should have that curve. Now, why is there so much craze about if a woman comes out looking that hourglass way? Why the confusion? Why the craze?
No, it's just the beauty standard now.
No,
that's what it is. I
think we're not used to it. You understand? Because, like your example, if you look at Botswana, if you look at Ethiopia, if you look at Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, they grew to understand that this is how we look. This is how we look. Nigeria is of diverse people, of diverse stature. You can't even say that, the people of Ondo look certain way or the people of Edo look certain way. I think the only thing we can usually differentiate with is color. When you see a bright, beautiful lady, you can almost tell that probably she's Igbo. Until she shocks you and say, I'm Yoruba. Then you are asking, you're inquiring, who is Igbo in your family? Because this color is for a certain region of people. So I think that because we are not used to that side, and now the craze of women or girls, young girls, knowing that, I can own my body, I can do things with my body, people want this type of body, is pushing them more into the BBL. Like what I wanted to say when Miriam was, after she spoke, I remember that a guy in 2010, a guy told me that he's been toasting me for months, but one day he just came up to me and said, you know what, you look like a meal for senators and ministers.
Jesus.
Yes. He called it in Yoruba, Eruaba. And that said, in 2010, a meal that you look like
some
meal. That if I have to marry you, I will probably live with hypertension. Because I know that when you go out, people look at you. So in my head, I'm trying to look like you're not even confident enough. You come here and state your CV, let's know. So like what Miriam said, that it's now your self-esteem and your self-confidence as a woman that makes you know what you want to pick over being dissuaded by, this one. Every man will come, they want to have a taste of the pudding.
Let's take Moritala from Ogba. Good morning, Moritala. Sorry, Miriam.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that it's not new to us. This body is not new to us. At least we would say for the Southwest. You know, if they were to describe the women of the Southwest, they are described that way.
They have that body.
Yes, but I think what is happening is we are now accepting and acknowledging that we love this body type. Because there was a time, because of Western influence, where everybody was going the slim way, because that's what they like. They like them slim, you know, nearly without any adhesion.
No flesh.
Yes, nothing,
Almost no flesh.
you know. And so that appreciation of that sort of beauty also reflected in a way that made you look like, okay, you're now exposed or you're more educated or something like that. And then they started disregarding their own beautiful women. You know, I've always said that when you hear Oyinbo people talk about their beauties, they talk about it with so much pride. And, you know, it used to annoy me that blacks didn't appreciate our own black bodies. But now we're doing it. So the craze you're talking about, that why do we have such craze? I don't think it's for lack of such women. I think it's now we have accepted and appreciated, acknowledging it. That's why even other African women or other black women, they say, I have this. Nigerian man wants me, because the Nigerian man knows how to show that he loves this body type. This body type that has been criticized, has been called all sorts of things. There's a Nigerian man somewhere that when he sees it, he's going to. Yeah, there's one American lady that made such a funny video. She said, I have this, and I also have, she now showed her back there. So I'm looking for any Nigerian man who will come, you know, because they know that these sort of people, when they see it, they will fall all over. And I love that about us. But you know, you mentioned growing up and some things that were said to you. Now that's the part I don't like. Where we take it to the point where we make a girl feel down. You now objectify her. She's here just growing into her body and learning her body, understanding her body, and then you point it out to her, you sexualize her even before she gets to that point. Now, that's the one I have a problem with. But for an older woman who knows herself, is confident in herself, and she gets admiring glances, she gets compliments for her body, especially this African body type, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, so, you know, when I was in the university, I had this friend. She's a popular person now. Sometimes when I see people troll her on her page and accuse her of BBL, I laugh. She has always been like that. Her mother was like that. When we became friends in school, I think I was in 200 level then, we had we went to Miss Malaika beauty pageant together. That was how we became friends and all of that. And we now stayed in the same hostel in school. She's always had that, like, the thing is, as if it wants to fall off. It's before BBL, in fact, BBL cannot stand that one, naturally standing. Or they like this. Standing, or quarter. So she's always been like that. So this particular day, I think then my boyfriend came for convocation after they had graduated and left. And then we're one of the ushers for the convocation ceremony. So afterwards, I said, okay, let's go to my boyfriend's house where he was staying at the time with his friends, and let's just go and visit. So by the time we got there, as we walked into the hostel, all the boys, they were falling over. BC, where did you bring this one from? My boyfriend joined them to be jumping. They were jubilating, they were jumping, you know? And for the first time, I now started thinking about it. So later on, we were having a conversation. I said, so why did you come for me, if you people are jumping this way? He said, no, your own is there. There's potential. The structure is there. When you add weight, it will come out. And he didn't lie. Because when I now started putting on weight, I now understood how it is for him. Because even till date, when he gets to that area and he's seeing everything, he's still jumping. I'm like, okay. So when I'm losing weight, I know not to lose so much, so that the jumping will continue, you know. But I wanted to take this to an area of concern for me. We have somehow judged people with such shapes as promiscuous. So once you see a woman who is well-figured that way, we automatically assume that this person is not decent, as if leave BBL alone before BBL became a thing, as if she created herself, and because of that figure, she has no self-control, she's promiscuous, she can do anything. What do you think about that? Is he objectifying now? Yes, of her, sexualizing because somebody was gifted. It's a gift. You didn't create yourself.
So for me, I also think that courage, how you carry yourself as a woman, matters a lot, whether you have curves or you don't have curves. And if you have curves already and you know that people tend to objectify you, like then you should carry yourself in this, you should be more intentional in how you carry yourself.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because if you know that you have a certain problem, right? It's not supposed to be a problem, but you just like I said, courage, so that people don't mistake you for who you're not. They say dress the way you want to be addressed. Okay. So if you're going into certain gatherings, you're going into certain functions, you should dress a certain way.
Appropriately?
Appropriately. You can't be going for like a black tie event and you just like you're going to the club. That means you're not even calling for people to objectify your curves and your body.
Yeah, objectifying yourself.
Yes, objectifying yourself. So even if you have the curves, it's not everywhere that you flaunt it in a certain way. Do you understand?
Doesn't that apply to any body type?
That's what I'm saying. No, I said any body type.
Yes.
But then if you have a certain kind of body, too, do you understand? And you're going for certain functions. If you're going to church, this is how you should also dress.
But you said you here now.
No. I said no. I said
flaunt
no. I said flaunt it, but dress accordingly.
Don't go through the corners.
If you're in church,
So before you come in, let's have the score. Rotimi. Good morning, Rotimi.
Good morning, my beautiful lady in the house.
Good morning, we can hear you.
You ladies are so beautiful. So beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Don't objectify us, Biko.
God also bless you with beauty. And I pray your beauty will not be faded away in Jesus' name.
Amen.
First and foremost is that in life is a choice, right? The way you want yourself is a choice. 2, for instance, according to what you said earlier, that anything you want, if, for instance, you want to follow someone you are a smoker, right? And then you want to marry someone that is not a smoker, there will be a trouble.
Yeah.
So you are a smoker. You have to go with a smoker girl. If you are a club, definitely you cannot marry someone that does not associate with club. So you have to go with club person. Now, both of you will understand each other.
Yeah.
So likewise shape. That's likewise shape of a lady. So it's a choice. A lot of people say, I love Orobo. People that are fat, that have the bonbon. Why some will say that they like leper. So it's a choice. What I'm trying to say in essence is that it's left for you to build yourself. To build yourself the way you love yourself. No matter how you build yourself, you love yourself. Your choice will come and meet you, no matter how. Somebody that will like you will like you.
Thank you, Rotimi. Thank you. You were going to say something,
So I was
Mary.
saying to Amaka, as you said, dress appropriately for wherever it is that you're going. And I do not think it has to do with the body type.
Okay.
I think it applies to everyone.
Everybody.
You're going to church, even if you're skinny as a rake, there is a way that you should dress. But I hear you, which is there's some kind of dressing that someone who is not that endowed can get away with without getting people
eyes.
look at you. But then realize that a woman who is that way gets attention whether she likes it or not. So, and she will be constantly, and to have that confidence and go out and just be yourself, you have to take yourself away from the point of how would they say? How would they, because you're constantly not going to, if you find yourself under that sort of pressure, you will not carry yourself confidently. So I think, first of all, across the board, appropriate dressing for different places that you're going. Yeah. Once we have that, then everybody should learn to respect people.
Exactly.
Because the person comes out, it does not give you the right to say milky something, or call, we used to have a staff here, beautifully endowed. You remember her? She doesn't work here anymore. And one of her stories, she says when she first, that there are places she would go to and she knew that they were looking at her a certain way, she was perceived to be a certain type just because of the way she looked, She, even before she was an age where she understood herself, people already assume, this one, she must have been with men, she must have done things. And we have that mindset. And for me, those are the people that we need to speak to.
Yes.
That person would wear the pair of jeans you wear with a T-shirt and will still be objectified.
Yeah. So
it is not her fault, it's your fault that you're disrespectful of somebody's body type.
Exactly. Let's take a short break now. When we come back, the conversation continues. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still having this conversation on the hourglass shape, if it's one of the reasons we see some people and judge them as promiscuous or not. And this brought my mind to a friend of mine a few years back who had that sort of figure. And we noticed that every time we go out, she gets undue attention, right? Which we didn't mind, we're young at the time. But when she started looking, when we finished school and started looking for a job, she kept coming back with, they want to sleep with me.
Yeah.
They want to. The Oga said I should come afterwards. The Oga did not even bother to look at my CV. They just want to. So we started thinking, okay, what could be the problem? Because I go for such interviews as well. No, you dare not. If I am safe, you know that you cannot tell me that kind of thing. It's either I'll qualify or I don't. I go home and find something else, right? And we now suggested, is it possible that you tone down on your dressing? So you already have the body. Nobody's going to take it away from you. Wear more shirts, big shirts, bigger shirts, and pants, so that you cover up a bit. So when you get into the office, the focus is not on your, it doesn't seem like you're presenting your body first before your brain, right? Later on, when you tone down your dressing, you can always, wear what you want when you finally got in the job, if that's your style. But I feel we did that also because we're a bit judgmental, right? Though we're trying to give a good advice, but it was trying to survive. But the Nigerianness in us is about, but say when you walk into this place, that's where they're going to look at. Cover it now, and we judge most people that way. But my question is, can we allow people be the way they want to be, dress the way they want to be, however the situation, and just understand that it's their choice, and not judge them into, trying to fit into some kind of way. We have entertainers who, that's all they dress. There was another lady who wore something very scanty the other day, more like handkerchief and all of that, and all her figures were showing. We made excuses because she was an entertainer. But we can have a banker who chooses that, we're hanging out, this is how I want to show up. And then we say, no, now, because of your this, because of your profession, because of your that. Should we allow people be the way they want to be without judging them and putting some, limitations on them? Because you're this way, that's why this is coming for you. That's where I wanted us to get.
It would be pretty difficult because it's happened to me before. A senior broadcaster that I consider my senior colleague, a female, had told me the same thing before. Fashion-wise, you also tend to wear something that boosts your confidence when you're picking out clothes. I love cleavage-revealing clothes. You understand? Not the deep into the deep neck down, but I love cleavage because I considered myself that I didn't have the behind. So what makes me feel good?
Can I pause you and trust you hold your thoughts? Let's take Ayo, then I'll come back to you. Ayo from Ibadan, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I just wanna throw in this. One of the ladies on the set said, if we have it, flaunt it. And a lot of times, this generation is shifting in what attracts them. There's a saying in my language that says, which means dress the way you want to be.
Can we have volume? I can barely hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
There is a saying in my language that says, which means dress the way you want to be addressed. The generation is shifting so well that now it is not about the figure anymore to certain men. We still have men that are attracted to what they see. But when you go past certain age as a man, your concentration on what you wanted out of a woman changes. And it's not about the figure, it is about what is she bringing, what does she have upset. You'd be surprised that most time when I go to gym in New Jersey and I see some of the ladies doing their squats. Why do you all do squats? Oh, we just want to have some nice squats because some of men are now shifting toward that. But that doesn't say they are not keeping their mental up to the task of what they are getting their body up to. I think from what you just said, if you go to Botswana, most African countries, they have a lot of ladies. You'll be looking like, what is this?
Yeah.
I was a victim like you too when I was in South Africa. Even though I'm a man, like seriously, I was just looking everywhere. I was like, they were looking at me like, where you all from? Like, we went, it's all boys stuff. We went down there just for a boys trip. And you're all looking at like, where you all from? You're definitely Nigerian, you're not American. But we know who we are. We just appreciate it. But if you're a lady, intellectual capacity is what carries most men. I'm one of those guys that's sapiosexual. I don't care the body type. I love sapiosexual women because I want to be able to have someone that will lift me up when I'm down.
Conversations with you. Okay, thank you, Ayo.
So like I was saying, I usually feel very comfortable wearing cleavage. I know I don't have too big size, so what's there to show at the back, but at least. And she told me that very day and said, you know what, Dami, I've gone through your pictures on your page and I think that you should stop wearing cleavage revealing. And for a second, it felt like she took my confidence out. And I'm like, stop wearing cleavage revealing. How do you mean? Do you even know how I psych myself to go out
reveal small?
to reveal small? I've gone to events as an MC where people are looking at me and I've forgotten that it's the front that they're looking at. And I'm asking myself, what's happening? Why are they looking at me? Am I different? Then somebody will just maybe say, see wait till you self carry. Then I'm like, oh, this one. Because after a while, it grew as a part of me. So I never used to see it as endowment, like the way men see it. I remember that I also had a man who was into me about 9-10 years back. And he was really, in fact, he bought me my first camera. My first DSLR camera. And he asked me, what do you want for your job, this, that, that. And one thing I like him for till today, meanwhile, we have that relationship of friends, is that he told me that, Dami, you're intelligent, you're smart, you're beautiful. I like what I see, but I'm not in tune with plum ladies. That he likes them size 6, size 8. Maybe not past size 8. Yeah. But we have that kind of... In fact, if he finds a girl of that size, he calls me, he sends me pictures and like, see this girl. Because he had an experience of a size 6 that broke down with high cholesterol in his house. And only God saved him from murder case in court. So he feels that, oh, if a size 6 can have much cholesterol, how much of somebody who is a size 14, 16, 18? So it brings me to this thing that we call body shaming. To me, I'm sorry. Sometimes it's the blunt, naked truth. But we first of all have to accept the way we are. Over time, I grew to accept myself because a lot of derogatory compliments were made at me. Like, did I create myself? So like what you said, it will be pretty difficult for us to mind our business. So it took me to the story of the female senior broadcaster who said, maybe you should stop wearing cleavage. And for once, she didn't care to know me or to even see through me or to find out how I feel very comfortable.
That was my point. You know, sometimes in a bid to help people, we hit at their insecurity and we push them back
to their hole or their shell, and
where they've, you know, walked their way, walked in years, you know, where they had gotten their confidence. We just hit them because we're thinking of, it's for your own good at the end of the day. That's what I'm asking. Should we allow people, or even before we even give any form of advice, even find out what got them to that point? Is that the way to go? Your fashion? However, I would like to call that video up so that we can just have a look at it and feed our eyes this morning. Oshe?
What the property dear?
My husband will be doing his jacket. That's my baby girl. That's my baby girl. But you're coming to say something.
So for me, I also think that it cuts across. It's not just about body, even face, because yes, even face. Do you understand? For example, I work in a male-dominated industry. I work in the oil and gas industry, and I noticed that when I moved back to Nigeria, that people were calling attention to my face so much, right? So I walk into a meeting, and then it's like, oh, you're so pretty, and even though it was a compliment, but I got offended by it because you're not going to tell the guys in the room, like, oh, you're so handsome. So I felt that you're taking away from my intelligence, from my brain. And I felt that for me, so it's an individual thing. I wanted my brain to speak first before my face. So if you notice, anybody that knows me will know that during the week, I wear contacts. I've been wearing contacts for like 20-something years. But during the week, I don't wear contacts. I wear glasses because I feel that it tones down my face. Do you understand? So, like, at the end of the day, whether body shaming or not body shaming, you also, as an individual, need to know what you want to present and who you want to present at that point in time. And I want to be presented as a professional. And I want my brain to speak for me. So during the week, I tone down, I wear glasses because when I saw that you are listening to me before coming for my face. Because all I get then, like if I wear contacts, if I don't do it, it's, oh, you're so beautiful. And then I'm wondering, like, but that's not the conversation. This is a meeting. This is a business place. So even for people that that are endowed, you should know and decide what you want to present first. And then you work at it and decide how to package, where to, like, during the week. You can't catch me during the weekends or evening outings with glasses. I wear my contacts, I flaunt my face. Yes, I want you to tell me how beautiful I am, because that's the time for it.
But not on a Monday morning.
But not on a Monday morning,
Yes,
because I'm trying to project. So for people that are shaped, you should not decide for yourself what you want to present, where you want to present that thing. And
so, Amaka, I think with your story, you've just answered like two things, which is appropriate dressing as well as knowing yourself. So,
can I pause you, take Ade, and come back to you? Write it down.
Ade,
good morning.
Somebody's crown.
Good morning, ladies. How are you today?
We're doing amazing, sir.
Can we add the volume?
Whatever, I mean, God created everyone. The way God creates you, you have to accept it that way and be proud of yourself. You understand? But one thing I notice is that if a girl is dressing up, they dress up because of the men outside. That if they didn't dress up because of their fellow girls, the way they will see them, they will say, if that. Let me finish. Now, if a man is dressing up, the man is dressing up that, if the girls see me today, they will appreciate me. And the way you will know is that, go to any night BG that is the same men only. You'll see the way they dress anyhow. Then let's say night BG is for everybody. Go and see the way they dress, including the man in charge.
Because
so
at night now.
So you dress for opposite side. You understand? But all of you are beautiful. Be proud of yourself. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
So with Ade, I don't quite agree with him that women dress just for the men.
I don't think so.
In fact, I feel that women dress more for each other. As if you go for a meeting that only women are, go and see how they dress.
I'm telling you.
See, if it's just a couple of women with guys, women even sometimes dress that. I'm not saying that there are no situations where women would dress up hoping that they get the man's attention. But mostly, I think with women, we tend to dress for each other. So that's one. But, you know, I wrote, before you spoke, Amaka, I'd written my book paper that it says, God, that saying where they say, God, when life gives you lemon, you make lemonade out. But what kind of lemonade do you make? Yes. Sweet or spicy? So for me, I use that as, you know, like an example of someone who is endowed. And so I'm endowed. I know that gets me a lot of attention. And I'm thinking, okay, do I tone it down because I want to be a certain way and be spoken to a certain way and be addressed a certain way? Or do I realize the power that I have in what I have, and then how can I use it to get what I want or be? So now, for me, I'm saying that it depends on the person now that has the body to decide how they want to use the sort of attention that they get. Because the attention that you get, beauty is power. Attractiveness is power. And so some women have figured, you know, I have spoken to these people, they have refused to listen, they'll constantly objectify me. Let's see what I can get with it. And there are some people like that. So because when we talk about it, let's not make it seem as if all women are so innocent that they are unaware of the power of their beauty.
No.
Do you understand? There are some women that recognize it and they are going to use it in places. I've been given this, I can't throw it away. Some as well use it. Then there's some people like Amaka who say, you know what, this brain is more important than this. I'm going to tone it down a bit, put it out of the way so that I can be what I want to be, and people would see that first. But also does not stop Amaka from continuing being a beautiful person, especially when you say like at the night time. So for me, also that, you know, that goes to when we spoke about appropriate dressing. You know, you during the retreat, you know, you said something that when you go out at night, you really dress up for the night. But now we know that when you dress up for the office, you're a different person. You dress up for the office. This is who you are, and people will give you the respect that. And then, however you are now perceived, you understand that it's on your own terms. So women that would sometimes put themselves out there, however we come at them and shout at them, they understand this on their own terms. This is how I want to present myself, and this is the power I know I have, and I'm going to use it. it.
Yeah, I like that. Let's take this call. Dami from Alapere. Good morning,
My family
Dami.
people have come.
Dami,
Hi,
are you
Dami.
there? Oh, sorry.
We didn't lose Dami. Dami is still here.
Yeah. So now I hear that you can choose. It's all about you now choosing what you want and how you want to show up at time, and that's okay. Than for you to subject yourself to what society is saying. So because I now have this, and then you're feeling bad. So I know that growing up, we had the plump people who any uniform they wear, they look good. We were the ones that were disadvantaged at the time. The lepers.
Secondary school
was horrible.
My uniform was A-shaped shirt.
It was A-shaped.
Then those plump girls would just look cute.
Now look
you look like a stick flying
all over the place, you know. And then we felt, let me just speak for myself now, and I'm sure a few people in my shoes at the time really felt out of place. Like, you know, even my cousins at home had this good body type and everything, and I was wishing for when I would get fat. I remember the first time I came to Lagos, I walked into a herbal shop where they were doing things. I'm not joking. As I walked in there, I told the man that I want to buy medicine to add weight. The way the man chased me, he said, when you were walking in, I was admiring you. My family get out of here. How old are you again? You add weight. Don't worry. By the time we give birth to children, weight will come. Now, weight has come. You
are looking for how to lose it.
Lose it. But then, I also want us to highlight on the confidence of being, of, you know, making the lemonade with the lemons that God has given to us. Because it's your body. There's nothing you can do about it. It's your face. There's nothing you can do about it. And make it okay that you choose to show up when you want to show up, how you want to show up, and own the consequences of it. Because I know, especially in our industry, I've gotten a few people who decided to do BBL because they felt by the time they go on sets, there's a body type that they are looking for certain roles.
Especially leading roles.
Certain leading roles. If you don't have that body type, it knocks you off.
And even skin type.
Yes. And also when I'm doing, I'm now into production. I'm producing my own films now. When I'm casting for characters, I'm looking at some body types that will fit into certain roles. The roles I've gotten so far, they are sexy roles with my body type. Am I supposed to throw away my body? No. But I understand that if I'm going somewhere where I have to represent and act as the boss, and is the way I'm going to dress. Exactly. When I'm going somewhere where I need to look sexy for the job, that's a way I'm going to dress. So how do we help women have that confidence amidst all the noise outside, that it's okay to be in your body and show up the way you want to and own it? How? Help us.
I think what I put down yesterday when I saw the topic, part of what I said was open-mindedness. I said the first thing, stop boxing people or judging people based on their outward appearance. I mean, that's how we see people go to church and you're like, oh, because she's wearing this kind of outfit. We still want to take a step further. I said, take a step further to establish communication. Then you can judge if this outward appearance is supposed to sell markets or this outward appearance is supposed to sell a brain. They are two different things. For me, I think the first thing that I learned from home was confidence. I grew up with my mom who will look at you every time and say, you're beautiful, you're pretty, or you carry yourself well, you have this poise, you have grace, which a lot of parents forget to instill in their children, either male or female. The way we female are talking about it is the way even men, they get this compliment of you're too tall, or you're lanky, or you're chubby, and all of that. So we need to work on our self-esteem, our self-confidence. It's a personal thing. You need to sit with yourself. I remember when I was, this analysis I'm making and examples about myself, I was a victim of all of this individual at different times of my life, because I've worked in the aviation sector. I went to College of Aviation, Zaria, and I remember that even in class, because of our kind of weights, you're considered that, oh, you cannot fly in an aircraft, you need to reduce your weight. And in life, generally, but the first thing I heard was that if you people don't want me, I'll go to where they want me. And that was the basis, I'll be truthful on this table, that was the basis why I picked broadcasting. Aside from having a media background, I started from acting.
Are you serious?
Yes, but I directed a couple of jobs for series. I've directed over 40, 50 episodes of series. I do directing because at that time, so I also discovered that if I'm in the front of the camera, I get texts of, oh, I saw you in this movie, I saw you in that even movie of ages past. You are still seeing me, you are seeing something. So I'm like, okay, let me come behind the camera. So this thing comes with us to every facet where we go to. You can't help it. But you know what? Amidst the Ariwoja, the noise, carry yourself in such a way that people will not have a choice than to interact with you.
Yes, and also carry your consequences when...
Now, of course, you carry your consequences. You know that you're looking at you.
When we come back, we continue the conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We're still talking about body positivity, and I wanted us to switch it up a bit by going to the men. The way the men see women and their whoo, ha, what's going on, is the same way that women see men. We don't do the whoo, ha publicly. We do it silently. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. We do it silently, but we pay attention. And sometimes a few men I know have been disadvantaged or disenfranchised from what they really wanted because of how they looked. But it's not a conversation we like to bring to the fore because we know how fragile these men's ego can be. So today, let us open the box. How do you, first of all, like your men appearing and looking? Let me start from Miriam.
I like him like Mr. Longe. Full stop. Can we move on?
How is Mr. Longe?
I like him like Mr. Longe. Move on.
No, now, for the benefit of people that don't know
Mr. Longe. For us, some of us that don't know Mr. Longe.
I like my husband the way he is, however he is, whatever he is. I like him exactly the way he is. Full stop.
You remember this thing? I remember that there was a time, I think in 2008 or 2006, when I was with one TV station, Yoruba channel, and I granted an interview then, and I said I like my men tall, slim. Attraction, let's not deceive ourselves.
Yes,
you want to be attracted to something that you want to wake up with the rest of your life with. So I remember that then the editor now used that as the caption, as the tabloid caption to sell it, that I like my men tall and slim. And then I had one man who had stomach. He had stomach. So I think he had toasted me for like 2 months consecutively back and back that this girl, why are you babying her to get? Me, I know that I did not like what I see. So there was no point giving in. Then he just sent me on WhatsApp one day the interview. He said, now I understand why. And you know, we had a brief, funny enough, I now made sure that, okay, for this reason, okay, let's have this conversation. And now discovered that, oh, he was a sweet person, this, that. We dated for a few months. Yes, we did date for, but I needed to prove to him that the first attraction for me is what I have been glued to. Tall, slim, like we can switch it back to ladies that now when you now have a conversation with the person. I never gave him the time. I never even gave him the chance because I'm like, what do I want to use to do with you? You understand my English? What do I want to use to do with you? Because the stomach is there. You're driving, we're looking at pregnant people together. No, don't do that.
Excuse me.
No, excuse you. So that's what we are saying. Because the way the men can also judge us.
Yes,
that, because she's got tummy, we can also judge you too. But we come to fair play and sulk up. Just like I tell people, I say, see, a woman who wants to torchlight a man, who wants to knock a pako with a man, she knows.
Yes.
And she would find every possible means around that sphere to go for that man that she just wants. That's the same men satisfy their curiosity. So for me, if we say, okay, the type of men we have, but after a few times I discovered that, oh, he was a loving person, oh, he was generous,
so that
he was this.
Sense.
So that made sense for me. And in my head, I'm
but
like,
it still didn't last now.
No, it did not. Me, I knew it was not going to last.
Oh, wow.
Your current partner, is he the sort, is he
No,
your spec?
Answer her anymore.
No, I want her. My current partner, the only thing is that he's not that tall, very tall, like I like it.
Okay.
But at least
So
he passes.
So
if when I'm going to feed him, give him food, I'm like, hello, don't bring us stomach. If you bring us stomach, we're going to have problems.
Okay, so of course I was joking, but I've always liked the athletic type.
Kind of body.
Tall, slim. Well, tall, slim, you know, toned, and that's how my husband is. So, you know, there's really nothing to say. I mean, there are other things about his body that I love. So, the male body, there's a way when their tummy is quite flat. Just below here, it does like
see
a
that?
V.
Yeah, that muscle kills you, right?
Daughter of Zion have fallen into trap.
It's just like a breakfast show. So when my husband is without his shirt and he wears, and I see
Daughter
Are
of
you
Zion.
really sure you're still in this heavenly race
So-
with me?
No, we might have derailed.
I'm sure you have derailed.
We'll come back later.
Yeah, but you know, to be honest, also we see on TV different types. Like there are those that really athletic, muscles and things like that. Those ones too can be. I've never found those heavily muscle men attractive. I've always wondered how people look at them and like them. And you see, that's a type. But I've just liked them, you know, light, lean, toned, and that's what I have.
Yeah, Amaka.
You guys have made me laugh. And I know you're waiting for me, but you might be disappointed.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go,
So
dear.
I'm going to own my truth.
Own it,
Yes.
Kim.
With my full chest. That's
Yes.
Don't go through the corners.
So when I was younger, I used to be the tall glass of water kind of girl,
Yeah.
right? But I've never been into, you need to be built or have the abs. And I've never been that person. Do you understand? And now as an adult, I'm attracted to how a man treats me.
Simple.
That is my own. I don't care
How he looks.
how you look, whatever. As far as you're
Are you
coming,
serious?
as far as you're coming correct, as in your dressing, how you're coming. If you're coming correct, I'm good. But how you treat me is my attraction to you. And what you have upstairs, if I can look up to you, if you're making sense to me, if you can teach me, that's my attraction. If you can lead me, that's my
Okay, let me take this message that was just sent to us, and then I'll tell you people what my own preferences are. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have arrived in Abuja for a 3-day tour after a reunion at Heathrow Airport. Reports indicate their flight was hit with a delay after the scheduled pilot was sick and a replacement had to be found. When they arrived in Abuja, other travelers were held back as they were escorted off the plane. They will be meeting with the Chief of Defense Staff at noon and later on at an NGO that supports medical recovery. The royals will eventually leave for Kaduna, where they are expected to meet with wounded soldiers at the 44 Army Reference Hospital. The trip comes after Prince Harry made a brief visit to London. So I was asked to read this out so that people are aware of what's happening with the prince's visit. So let us talk about our preferences. Growing up, I used to like them tall, dark, handsome, right? But somehow the dark ones were the demons in my life, and they didn't treat me nicely. And then a tall, fair, and handsome one stepped in. And aside from the fact that, so the first thing that connects me to you is your looks and how you're packaged. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be expensive. At that age, I didn't care about money and all of that. You don't have, but you're not smelling. Your mouth is not smelling. There's no smell around you. You're well-dressed. You know how to put yourself together. And you can speak well. So if you open your mouth, I'm sorry, I'm not hearing sicking and sips. I'm very particular about that. So that I'm calculating in my head. If I have to, I'm calculating in my head, if I have to kiss you, how is it going to be, you know? So your physical appearance first, then I'll now hear what you have to say. And now find out that, okay, you either have brain or you don't have brain. So I may like you physically, and then when I get into the relationship, I realize that you don't have brain. I can leave you based off of that. But I will not date you when you're not physically attractive to even find out if you... One will come before one for me. Then I also prioritize how I'm being treated. So I've had quite a number of very cool guys that fit into the box, but they had no respect and they didn't treat me well. And I can still kick you to the curb, it doesn't matter. But the first thing first, for me to even pay attention to understand if you have what I want, or to even know if you have anything upstairs, is that you must look attractive first. I'm very particular about my chemistry with you. Because in talking about marriage now for how many years, if the chemistry is not there,
it's not chemistry.
I pity the whole of Nigeria.
Physics cannot explain it.
Yeah. So for me, I think it worked out differently for me. You know, when I was younger, I really didn't pay much attention to to men's, the way that they looked. It was the way that you interacted with me that was most important for me. Like, I need to sit with you and have a conversation. Because for me, I realized that my sort of conversations were not regular, everyday conversations. And so I needed someone that, you know, sort of understood me and
who could stimulate you.
Yeah, yes. So I love that sort of thing. Whether you were tall or not so tall or whatever, whether you're light-skinned or not light-skinned, as long as I can sit with you and we're having a proper conversation. But concerning how, you know, how people treat you, I don't even have... I mean, I couldn't have been talking to you if you were not a decent person in the first place. Or, you know, when you are talking about you smell, you pronounce, I don't... That
But how do you equate decency?
No, that's what I'm saying. So the sort of people that I attracted were a certain type anyway.
Oh, yes, there's an attraction.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that I didn't have to sift through
all that.
Yeah, all that, because I presented myself a certain way. So I attracted the sort of people that I attracted. And amongst those, I looked at those that I fit in, you know, mentally for me,
Before you're able to connect. Yeah. So now, talking about how men show up as well. And how we can help them to show up better.
Some people are busted show up. Busted show up.
They don't care about the showing up.
They show up, they show out, they show finish. Even you be mesmerized like this. Like, is this a man?
And it doesn't have anything to do with money.
No.
So it's not like we're putting men under pressure to wear Gucci shoes. That's not what we're saying. But how you present yourself, how you make yourself presentable.
Men to have courage.
Let me just ask this question. You say it doesn't have anything to do with money. So when we talk about women too, we say it doesn't have anything to do with beauty. I just want us to be very real here. That money doesn't play a role in the way that we view men. That's what I want to ask. Doesn't it?
Be truthful.
Let's be truthful.
You know, I'm giving two aspects of my life. So now, if I was in the dating pool right now, of course, money would definitely play a role. Because now I've gotten to a level where, what are you offering? What are you bringing to the table? That would be like what I'm going to be looking out for. But at the time that I got into a relationship, it wasn't money. It was just that you showed up clean. You know, you showed up, you were brilliant. You were making A's in your class. I don't want an olodo. Even though I wasn't looking at it for a long-term relationship. You see that short term that we're going to have? Whatever happens is going to be worth my while, right? So I paid attention to how you put yourself together as a human being. There are some men that are very dirty.
Scattered.
Very, as a matter of fact, very dirty. Like, no personal grooming. They don't know. And you will not perceive it from a distance. It's when you now get close. You see fine guy, you're talking to the guy, and then...
I've never met this one.
You get close, and then you're now like, what's going on
Have
here?
you even been able to talk to a Nigerian man about how he looks, how you perceive him, without him thinking that you are equating him to somebody else? Oh, you've been seeing somebody. Oh, somebody has been. Oh, really? Somebody. Well, you're just telling him for his own good that, okay, your shirt doesn't have to be the big names. Just make it clean, make it appropriate, starch it when necessary. I have an uncle. I don't know
Before we come to this, your uncle. Let's take Roland from Anthony. Good morning, Roland.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I love your program.
Thank you.
You women, not girls anymore, are beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to quickly comment on the aspect of the ladies. Well, women, for the BBL, we look, what we see, that's what attracts us. But sometimes, after the first stage, what's next? Bingo for the brain. That is why most times, the BBL, when we approach them, after the first meeting, sometimes it doesn't go well. Because most times they use their body, and men are very protective to what they see, so that it doesn't come as a bullet to them. So when we meet at first, then we look at the brain. What can you do next? How impacting can you be into my life? That's why you see most of the BBL women are heartbroken, because they don't have what the requirements of a man wants. So thank you very much. That's just my...
Thank you.
So like the story of my uncle that was saying, I mean, we sat somewhere together in front of Lasso, and we were discussing, and we had to leave, and we got to Yanoera after Lasso, after Okoko, before he remembered that he forgot his car key. So you imagine that this kind of man will forget his wife and his child in the hospital.
What's the meaning of that?
There are a lot of men that are that scattered. And when I asked him, I said, what were you? He said he did not even remember that he drove to that
So a man
place.
is not allowed to be forgetful?
No, you are allowed to be forgetful, but because you are the head of the family. So now, the person that
There's a
the
level
people
of
that
forgetfulness
looks
you
up to
cannot
you,
get to.
there's a level of forgetfulness.
Yes.
How would you explain to me that you didn't even remember that you drove a car
drove
to
a
that
car.
spot?
What if he's going through issues?
What is he going through? If he's going through issues now, at that point, he needs help.
Exactly.
And he should admit that he needs help. At the point that you cannot even remember that you drove a car, all the way,
Does he
almost like...
always forget his car?
He
Because
can-
there's a difference.
Esther.
If it's someone that's always forgotten his cars wherever he
He
goes,
will forget belts, he will forget
But it's not the
food.
first good impression. I'm just meeting you for a date.
For a
and
date,
you're
I would-
forgetting that
I
you
just feel
drove and I know something's
I
wrong.
just feel something is wrong. But for me, I'm a sapiosexual, like I said. And when I walk into a room, I'm attracted to the guy that is not the noisemaker. I'm attracted to the guy that is just chilled. I don't see. I'm the gist. I already talk. I don't need to
add more
to
conversation.
over talk. I want a man that when you come in, you're the guy that everybody respects. You're the boss.
You're the alpha male.
I'm attracted to an alpha male, right? But that doesn't mean. But I want you to stay on the phone or talk to me from morning till night. When it comes to me, you can talk.
You see the problem? You're attracted to a quiet guy.
You can talk.
You want him to talk to you.
How?
How?
No, it
and
works.
gist with me.
No,
Yeah, you can talk and gist with me, but when you're out there, just be the...
maintain.
Be the
Don't
boss.
be the class clown.
Don't be the class clown or...
So are you saying the class clowns will not have wives?
No,
saying
don't
that's
find
my
those that
parents.
love them like that. There are
That's
some
like
women,
before
that love them like, my husband can't gist. I mean, when went there, he said this, this person
it
said
makes
this.
everybody
And
laugh.
they'll be...
Yeah.
And they like it.
But
And then they can't stand a man that is just not saying anything.
No,
you
I'm
know,
not saying
another
not-
person, admires when he went there, he just maintained.
If I did not hear pim from his...
No, when he said
guy.
the name is...
Yeah, and then the only time he spoke, when he just said one thing.
And everybody
shut down. Exactly. So I'm a talker. So when I meet somebody, for me, it's a conversation. Do you understand? This conversation, what you're saying, how you're saying it, if you're making sense. That's what matters to me. Whether that's your conversation is taking me somewhere. That's what I want to. That's what I'm
But
attracted
there are some
to.
men who I think that when they are even quiet, even in the relationship, they tend to still be quiet. You have to do the job to bring them out.
Yes, bringing them out
Alaye,
to
where
talk.
is the two both of us that are here? Talk to me. So, because communication is the bed of everything.
Yeah.
And when you say you like quiet men, I'm also the talker. In fact, this 24 hours is not enough for me to talk. If they open the gate, there is time to talk. I mean, these are the things that they beat me for in primary school. That
The
they
moment you open your eyes, I'm sure words just come out. Like, I'm waking up, hi, I'm up.
And you can imagine that I was born in the house. I didn't go to the hospital. My mom took me to the hospital until after 3 days. So noise don't in my head already.
So for me, for a long-term relationship, I don't like the quiet person, long-term, because I realize that you see those things that they say opposites attract?
Yeah.
They are the same opposites that repel in a long-term relationship.
Like charges attract.
Yeah, so it
charges
attracts
repel.
at the beginning, but then when it's going long-term, you now suddenly realize that those things that I need you to say, you're not there to say it. I have to keep pushing you to say it. I mean, I don't even have energy to say my own. Not to talk of. So I look like I talk, but when we get back to long-term, you realize that I do not talk most of the time. So I would need some
them thinking, this is a talker.
Yeah, so
she's now not a talker.
yeah, so
exactly.
You see why I will not be attracted to someone who doesn't talk long term, because I know that by the time we now get in and you are beginning to unravel me, you now decide, you now see the aspects of me that do not talk 70%, and it becomes a problem when you are a quiet person. So I had a relationship like that in the university where I liked the fact that we walk into a place and the guy is quiet, he just speaks, he just drops, everybody's like, this your guy is so cool and everything. I liked it. When relationship started, I can't beg and make you talk. You no go talk. You will come back, you won't say anything. Nothing. I will be reading book, I'm bored, nobody's asking, nobody's doing. The painful one is that he will not even look at my face to see that I'm frowning.
Maybe he didn't like you. Like that.
I don't know what happened.
So different things will be running in your head.
When I spoke to his siblings, they said,
that's
that's how he is. But you knew now.
You went for an introvert.
So I opened my eyes very well. My guy outside can be quiet.
Reserved.
Yes, he's reserved. So if he doesn't know you, he won't speak. He just look on his phone and everything, won't say anything. But when he gets home, he's a talker. He's the one that will charge me up. Auntie, you did not gist me about your day. See, me, the woman, they used to beg me to gist about my day. That's how bad it gets. So he will now be the one, he would gist me, and then I remember, okay, I had one gist. Miriam did something to me in the office. Let me just gist you and all of that. So imagine if I had fallen into the hands of someone who was quiet
over
and
time.
it would be boring over time
and
and
to
to wear
the
me.
house as if they abducted you. But anyway, I, on the other hand, I'm a different. I don't want.
Can I pause you and take this call? We have a caller from Kaduna, then I'll come to you, Miriam. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First time caller.
Welcome to the show.
First time caller.
You're listening to the TV, sir.
Yes.
Can you just listen to the phone?
No, it's okay. I needed to hear you clap. It's okay. My name is Ben. Anyway, honestly, this is very engaging. It's important you speak from experience in issues like this. It will help people to situate the context properly. Because when you are misrepresenting or you are presenting something that happens to somebody else or is happening in another person's life, it will not really help. Now, I have a wonderful wife. To be honest with you, after 20 years of living together, she has this mindset to physically give man. But she said all her life she had wanted somebody quite tall. She had dated people who are tall. But honestly, I believe she has a different perspective now after 20 years of marriage.
Wow.
That is exactly how it plays out. That Cinderella context never exists.
Cinderella context.
It's not real.
It does for some people.
It's fluid. Believe me, it is not real.
Wow.
That imaginary man does not exist anywhere. Honestly.
Thank you. Don't speak for all men, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very
He
well.
started with, let's not speak for all, but not
Yes.
for everyone. But
everyone. He now
Eventually did the same.
Yes. You know, when he was saying it, I just remembered, like, I went to ABU Zaria. And if you know Zaria at the time, the basketball team was the thing. Like, you come into the campus,
And you will see guys.
the basketball court. I used to spend my evenings there just watching those basketballers.
Hi.
Right? Really good-looking young men. But the couple of people that
Interactions you had.
I felt that men who were of certain build sort of depended too much on how they looked. So they didn't work on their conversations or on their social skills. They expected everybody to flock towards them. So yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
But I was going to say something, you know, you guys were talking about talking. Something I can't stand is someone that is constantly talking in my, you will drain me. I cannot. You'll be asking me, how did you do? What did you do? I will be tired. Please. Can we have some silence? I understand a lot of silent communication, body language. Don't give me conversation over and over. I will lock you up in a room and run away. I have no
How are you coping?
But remember what I said to you. Sometimes I feel sorry for that girl. Like, I wish she had the sort of mother that would engage her. Sometimes I can see her just say, I can't wait when I can leave these people. So she can just be herself. She's constantly talking, but I can't. The energy is...
There are times I'm quiet too.
So
But
we
when
have
I'm
another
quiet,
caller, Darby, from Ikosi. Good morning.
our neighbor.
Good morning. Good morning.
Neighbor.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. Good morning, the ladies. This is my first time of calling. I've been trying
Welcome to the show. Thank God you finally got us.
I have health challenges. I'm at home, so I watch your program every day.
Oh, sorry about that.
So based on what we are discussing, I think first, whether man or woman, you have to build your confidence first. Because that happened to me when I was small. I was in primary school. I have a track and map. So everybody sees me that, oh, this one, they make this of me and all of that. Until one small girl of my class just walked to me. They don't fight with anybody. Just split your mind from everywhere. Don't bother about it. And I didn't never bother. All I tried to do was to work on my confidence, work on myself. When I'm brilliant, work on the way I speak. Because when you just come from your state, there's this donation from your mouth. So I have to change that a lot. And it really works for me. So, and that's this. Then looking at, so once you have confidence, whether you are the way you dress, once you have confidence, of course, definitely, and the way you approach people, okay, they may look at you, they may not look at you, and look at you the one with the other, but when they hear your voice or they come closer to you, I think they will see something better.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I think what also worked for a few of us was the fact that we were not giving everything from the beginning. We were not considered beautiful for a very long time. I wasn't considered beautiful for a very long time. I wasn't considered anything. So I knew that I had to work twice as hard. I knew that I had to work on my mind. I knew that I had to work on my brain. So that when even though you don't see me and you're quickly attracted to me, and you know I was going for beauty pageants back to back, I'll sit with people as yo as Amaka, and they will not see me, right? I knew that when I open my mouth, you turn your head, who is that person? So I had to deliberately work on that.
side.
I remember a fan called me a few times, before we became friends, said the first time he saw me on the show was like, this person definitely does not know anything. I'm sure she's on that show because of her beauty, Till one day he said he was working on his laptop and we're talking on the show, how you play the TV, and then was agreeing with the points the person was making. Only for the person to, is the one that said that they brought her on the show just because she was fine, And when we had a conversation, I said, me, all my life, I was told I was not fine for a very long time. So I knew that I had to feel in my head so that when they now started telling me I was fine, and I'm like, okay, I have an edge. Now I feel the brain, and now the face speaks, and it works. So, we have to encourage people to work on themselves. Like you said, at the time, most models had nothing upstairs because they raise you to believe it's just
beauty standards,
codes, beauty standards, and all of that. So we have conversations with them, and trust me, I stood out from all the beauty pageants because when we now have conversations like, where are you? This person, I stand out because of that, and that also helped me in other aspects of life. But time has gone, and we have to round up this conversation. And one word, one second, then I wrap it up.
Okay, so I wanted to say that communication enhances chemistry, right? So when it comes to man and woman relationship, I'm not a texter. I'm a talker. So even if you're quiet, if you're not talking to me, you're losing me.
Oh, wow.
Because I need you to communicate your feelings from emotions when you talk to me. So for me, texting is nothing. Talking is super important.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. And then even though I want a calm guy, I want a guy that's confident enough to express themselves.
How he feels.
So yes, as you're talking to me, you need to also express. I need to know because it builds emotional security. So that ties it in.
Yes, one line.
I think for me, I always like my how would I put it? My nugget in life is expect the unexpected. If you marry a slim person today, it doesn't mean that she'll not add weight probably when
tomorrow
she goes into the family week.
Like
so just weigh your options. But above everything is open-mindedness. Don't box yourself in the corner that nobody box you. Free yourself.
Yeah, I will say what I always say. I love a kind man. Gets me all the time.
So you know how we started the conversation on how women should show up and how women have been judged based off of how they look naturally, So I learned a few things from the conversation that beauty should be defined by you. You as a woman or a man should define what your beauty standards are. And you have to also know and decide how you want to show up. But time, you shouldn't show, I don't even think you should show up the same way for everything. Situations are different, so you own your showing up. Decide how you want to use your attention. The attention that you get, what you want to make out of it, it's your choice, it's your attention. Use it how you want. Then work on your self-esteem and work on your mind so that when they look beyond the beauty, they will see the beauty of the mind as well. And that's all we can take on the show today. Thank you so much, ladies. I had an interesting conversation with you all. Your View Pigeon continues tomorrow. So you'll be joining Your View Pigeon. I will see you again on Monday. Bye-bye now.